All right, step in, because you're about to witness one of the best brainstorming sessions around content strategy that you've probably ever seen. And the reason is we asked a bunch of you to give us your brand, right? And we're going to cook up a content strategy live on the pod. Him and I haven't talked yet. There's been no discussions about these brands, what we're going to do, the content ideas. We're doing it purely from the dome. So we have 4 brands.
Content strategy raw.
Raw, super raw.
Straight raw.
No rubber. We're basically about to cook these strategies up live right here. We haven't done this in the past. So let's get right into it. So the first brand that we're going to talk about is a brand called Woodgrain Golf. And the first thing that I'll say about this brand that I like is the fact that their goal and like their narrative is restoring golf fashion, right? They've done a lot, and I think they've made content in the past where they talk about like how golf fashion has lost its personality and how like golfing fashion really sucks, right? Like it's become very square and one-dimensional.
Polyester, plastic.
Yeah. And so they're trying to revive the world of golf fashion and basically take it back to an era of like the 80s and 90s or like early 2000s when you were swagged out on the golf course. So I have a few things that I'm thinking about here. I'm going to dive right into them. So the first one is, have you ever watched Queer
Eye? No, unfortunately. What are you talking about?
You know what it is.
The bro with the hair? You got the long hair?
Yeah, the bro with the hair.
Really soft.
Homie isn't with their hair. Okay.
Soft beard on that dude. I bet it's like plush, lay on it.
So the core of Queer Eye is the fact that like, let's take our good friend Chris Smith. Let's say Chris Smith hasn't been taking care of himself lately. He hasn't been cooking right. He hasn't been working out. He's been smoking an ample amount of cigars. He's been playing video games. He's been doing all of those things. I don't know if those are real or not. He might be doing those things. But we're like, damn, our homie Chris is just not taking care of himself. Like he should be, like he should step up his game in what he wears. He should be eating right. He should be doing XYZ thing. Cool. We would submit Chris as an applicant for Queer Eye. So, and then let's say he gets approved and they choose him and they're like, man, this guy has so much potential, whatever. Chris, I'm sorry, this feels like you're catching a fat straight. None of this is true. We love you. But the idea then would be these 5 guys come in, right? And they all have a specific category that they focus on.
Yeah.
Right. And so they come in and one's going to teach Chris or Charles how to cook properly. Another's going to teach him how to dress and like how to up his fashion and how he could be, based on your proportions, you should be wearing.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. These trousers. And then somebody is going to come do interior design. Hey, your house should be like, if you've always wanted your house to feel more open, then you should change XYZ. And they like give this person a makeover, right? Everybody has that friend. Most people have that friend that dresses terribly, put no effort into what they wear. Chances are a golf group.
There's a high concentration of that in golf. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think there is a world where Woodgrain Golf could basically create this makeover effect for people, especially if they're restoring restoring golf fashion, where it's like, have somebody submit that guy from your golf crew. We're going to come in and we're going to give them a complete makeover. And it's like a 45-second show.
Let me do you one better. What if he pulled up to the driving range and just pulls up on the dude with the worst swag at the entire fucking driving range? It just says, hey, bro, can I put you in some new clothes?
It's basically what it is.
Yeah.
That's basically.
Because you get the viral street interview, kind of like in the wild take, but also you put the Queer Eye series lens to it, and there's a transformation payoff that someone is going to stick around to at the end. The more absurd person that you find for that, the better, right? I think about these, have you seen all these barber transformations recently?
They're so good, dude.
They're so funny. It's like, yo, my mom says I'm so chopped I can't come back in the house. Can you help me out? And then the barber's like, yeah, I got you. And then, you're going to stick around till the end, right? Like we want content formats that are going to gamify the algorithm to do exactly what it wants. It wants people to watch a video from front to end. So you have to show a transformation. You have to promise a transformation. It's a great idea. I love that idea.
I think that would absolutely crush. So another one that I think is like, you and I were just talking about this on the last episode of like this idea of association, right? And I think they should cover and create like a history channel for golf fashion.
Yep.
That's a simple win, and I don't think it's too
such an easy theme page.
Yeah, bro. It could either be a theme page, it could be something they do on their main page.
Golf fits that go hard. That's your handle.
Easy.
Yeah.
Bro, like and again, like I just think if And then especially if you went through the different eras, right? Like 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, whatever. And then like you get into the, more current age, and it's like the one of 100 people that actually look good on the golf course. And so I think there's a definitely a play there to cover the history of golf fashion as a whole. And then that plays perfectly with the overarching narrative of restoring golf fashion.
Yep.
Right? If I'm the person that you turn towards, this is what I always say is like, you trust the resource. So like if I become the library of information over a specific topic, you eventually trust me to the point where you would buy from me.
Totally. What you recommend will be what they're looking for.
100%.
Yeah.
So that's another one that I think would hit. When we talked about this brand in the past, I thought about, okay, how can we reinvent essentially a lookbook?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the way that I thought about this as well is, there's all these different scenarios in golf, right? There's obviously the driving range, there's the greens, then there's when you get into the sand. What's that called? The pit?
The bunker?
Like when you,
Yeah.
Okay. When you're in the bunker, like there's all these different scenarios. When another one is like, if you knock it into the trees, right? And like you gotta dig through
you're in the rough.
the water, like all these different situations are situations.
That'd be such a good campaign. It's like in the rough, but still looking good.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That'd be
Like,
great.
yeah. Like put them in just like the most precarious golf situations, but make them look so freaking good.
Swaggy.
Because like every single golfer knows the absolute brutal pain of having a bad shot and you're just like in the woods with an impossible shot. But if you could do some sort of like lifestyle campaign around it, it's like, damn, you're still looking good in those trees.
So funny enough, I was talking to one of my friends over at Malbin, and he was like, hey, I'm gonna send you a bunch of stuff. He's like, do you golf a lot or is it more of a lifestyle? And I was like, I started lessons a month ago. So I would say the in between. Huge fan and now actually playing. But I'm that player that wants to look better than they play, right? Like that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so the scenario that you just talked about is what I lived on in John's bachelor party, right? Like I played the first 9 holes, honestly, really good. For not playing since 7th grade, I played it very good. I was keeping up with John, who golfs a good amount. Boy, that last 9 after I had 2 glizzies at the club.
You put down 2 wieners?
I had 2 glizzies.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's what's up.
And supposedly they're known for their hot dogs over at like some spot in New Braunfels.
No, they got
Boy, that back 9, terrible. But I'm telling you, I look better than anybody on there. So when I was in the...
Well, I know that bachelor party wasn't. They're not looking at Malbin for their golf gear.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But anyways, important. I like that idea. And then, but again, you take all these scenarios, and we talked about this, I think, a bit, where it's like, take all those scenarios. Typical lookbooks for golf are, I'm leaning on my golf clubs and I'm posing in some kind of way. But what if the lookbook was actually one long match cut of taking that scenario? Let's just say I'm at the driving range, right? I'm at the driving range. I'm here, lessons, pinky right here. You see that I'm taking lessons, thumb over thumb. As I go, every like second or second and a half, I'm changing fits. So it's like one long match cut, but I can go through an entire collection in like 1 10-second swing. We put it in slow-mo.
Perfect way to drop a new collection.
And it's such an interesting way, and you can own that format. And one thing that I think is very interesting for brands is like to have something, you need to develop something unique that is yours to the point where if somebody copies you, they know it's you. That's the problem even with green screen content. Unless you do something interesting, it's like, well, everyone's just doing green screen content and nothing makes it inherently unique, that it's like you're copying this individual. And an easy thing that we can reference is like, if you and I were like, hey, let's do a pod, but we're going to eat really hot wings while we do this pod. Everyone's like, oh, you're just copying hot ones.
Right.
And even if we're taking it from like a YouTube show and putting it in a pod setting, it's still like, yo, you're copying hot ones. So you want to get to a point where you come up with these unique formats and ways of doing something that's one of one for your brand, that it's like, wait, Woodgrain Golf is doing this, and I'm, everyone's going to know I'm copying Woodgrain Golf if like they own this way of doing a lookbook. Right? And so I think that's super interesting. The other idea that I think would be very interesting is just thinking of like Anthony Bourdain and recreating something that, hasn't really been done in the golf space by a brand, where it's like, golfing in the most beautiful places in the world, or golfing in the most remote places in the world, like figuring out what that angle is that's unique to Woodgrain and doing something like that. Like that shit would pop.
Yeah, that one will be not to like push back on it. That one will probably be out of his ability, just because
That's a Malvin idea.
Access and money. Yeah, Malvin should absolutely do that.
That's a Malvin idea for sure.
But it's like with him, he actually, I think what you just described is really, really key, because he could find a format for every new collection, because he's going to be a collection-based brand, just like most apparel brands should be. And it's like, if you were able to do a time lapse of a golf swing is a very recreatable action. It's extremely recreatable. Like, your golf swing should theoretically look pretty much the same on every single swing. And cycling through the different pieces of apparel would be really good. I think golf fits that go hard would be a really strong theme page for him to have and just own, and just have like affiliate traffic funnel through the link in bio. I also think he could be a little more aggressive about picking an enemy. I know he's kind of talked about polyester, and he's talked about like, plastic and athletic wear, but you got to say, like, do not wear joggers on the golf course. Like, you got to like really start critiquing some of these atrocious fashion crimes that people will commit on the course. Because if your brand doesn't clearly stand for something, then you cannot have really dedicated true fans. And so I think he would find that a lot of the things he's going to say, no matter what, right? Because he's saying, like, indirectly that he wants to bring back trousers. So his enemy would be joggers, right? Like the complete opposite. So go after those people. Don't be afraid to go after these things. And don't say a brand. Don't say Primo Golf, because they're like the #1 joggers brand. But just be like, say some crazy ass hook. Just like, wearing joggers on the golf course should be punishable by, Guantanamo Bay or some shit. I don't know.
Now that I think of it, though, you put me on to Woodgrain Golf, and it was shortly before he like commented on something or whatever, and we talked about them a little bit. And because of that, I wore trousers to John's bachelor thing.
Yeah.
And when I golfed.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to be the guy that wore X, Y, Z.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's actually interesting, like how that works and how that it makes you feel.
He could literally have he has an opportunity to create a moment, right? And a lot of these golfers, look, I know golf is a really unique space, because you have an overwhelming majority of the guys don't give a shit about swag. Like, they just don't. It's like, if you try and put your accountant homie onto some free game from streetwear, probably gonna fall flat.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not gonna, it's just not even gonna resonate with him.
Another interesting idea could be, and Brian and I are going very top of funnel here again, because like the majority of brands need top of funnel, and they don't.
Well, if you're a drop-based brand, if you're an apparel, I think every brand needs top of funnel.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think like not to say bottom of funnel is easy, but like there's a robust infrastructure and ecosystem of agencies, service providers that can help you with your email, your SMS, your landing page, your Facebook ads, like whatever it is. But the true sauce is like, how can your brand actually appeal to people at scale? Yeah. And the only way to do that is through top of funnel content right now.
The last idea that I have is, like when you're playing a very hard basketball game and you're like, I'm praying to the basketball gods that I'm going to shoot 50% from 3, whatever. I think, and how like that narrative format has been working on IG, where it's not me just doing a VO. There's like somebody else doing a VO, and that person's narrating my day in the life. Like, create a narration, but that narration's like the golf gods. And like the golf gods is like knocking your play because you're wearing shorts, like where you're wearing basketball shorts to the golf course. You know what I mean? Like, there's some kind of angle there where like it could be very, very comedic, and it's like the golf gods narrating your round of 18 holes because of whatever you're wearing.
Yeah. Golf is really unique in the sense that I think it has a lot of universal experiences that suck, that everyone goes through. And so you could definitely use a lot of contrast and contradiction with like kind of side by side, videos and stuff like that. All right. Woodgrain Golf, you're welcome. Hopefully that is helpful. Bro is a massive fan of the pod. Absolute stud. I'm bullish on this brand. I think it's going to work out. The next one we're going to talk about is absolutely ridiculous. So I sent this to you earlier, and this is a interesting product category. So to give anyone that's listening on audio, which if you are listening on audio, go to YouTube, watch this podcast on YouTube, subscribe, like, please. They are doing like mischief for sporting goods. So like think, those big red boots, like anything that's like super, super outlandish, they're doing that for gloves. Like they're doing, a Stars and Stripes ice cream splash paint glove, for example, or everything is an original piece of art, basically, is what they're trying to do. So style, glamour for these things. They have a mystery artist, it would appear, behind the brand. I would assume this is bro that, threw this on the story. Partnered with Jazz Chisholm, who is like kind of this young superstar on the Yankees. So they do have the ability to potentially get this in front of, some prominent creators and athletes. I think you gotta just start going crazy with the viral stunts.
Got it.
I mean, it's all about like you are in an attention hype beast game. If I look at this product page, one thing I will say as well is like, okay, so they got the liquid metal ice cream glove. It's like this glove that's, dripped out, silver tipped on the fingertips, and it's $400, which I like, actually. I want you to be as expensive as possible. I would actually be down for him to price this at $3,000. But the problem is there's literally zero scarcity on this product page. And the fact that
sorry to interrupt you. That's so true, because I went on the page like thinking it was going to be sold out, or it would say like 52 units left or something.
right.
And if it said so, I would have bought it during this episode.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's just chilling there is the reason that I was like, oh, okay, like I could
Like there's a market of guys who would buy this glove to like go play catch with their kid for sure.
Or even just like I see some of these things, right? I'm looking at this bubblegum saver, which I think is really funny and really cool at the same time. I would want to put this in my office. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like these are those cool, quirky things that I think every creator or creative has in their office, where it's either projects they worked on, it's cool brand collabs, or it's just weird products that like fit the shelves. You know what I mean? Or
Totally.
are supposed to be on shelves. But again, like the scarcity is not there.
I'm messing with the name too. Absolutely ridiculous. Like I'm here for it. I like everything that they're doing. It's just, I think what they're trying to do is probably become like a sustainable revenue Shopify brand that can run ads.
Yeah.
And simply put, like, don't. Like, you have no chance to be that. Like, these designs are not going to, I don't think you even want to become like I'm going to sell 5,000 of this glove a month. I think you want to sell 50 of those gloves and create mystique and aura around your brand and the perception of your brand, and like create this hype drop model, giveaways, like activate celebrities, do collabs with people, make everything super scarce. And that's how you're going to be able to, actually drive some serious demand here.
I think they could have a hybrid approach as well. So like, this is a plug for Particle. So if you go on Particle.
I've actually got a good following on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, 300,000.
Oh, nice. If you go on Particle and you go to Kith, right? And you look at all of their data, Kith has an entry point product. Right? It is their cheapest product, and it literally is just like a white tee that says Kith or a black tee that says Kith on it. Right? And it's their entry level product that I don't remember how many millions it drives it might be like driving 1 million a month.
Yeah.
Or like close to,
for sure.
high six figures every
It's like
month.
Aloe's number one selling products is a sock.
Exactly. It's the people that want to be associated with the brand, and so they try to get anything from the brand or something from the brand that says, hey, like I am also part of this group. And so I think they could do a hybrid model where it's like, you have your entry-level products. It is maybe your more standard gloves. It is like what you're saying, like a typical Shopify brand and whatnot, and like that's fine, and you can be that. But then you have that mystique level. It's almost like a bar having a speakeasy that you have to have a card for, right? Like you need to be able to create that effect. And my whole thing here is like, if you do want to be driving a significant amount of revenue and not just a hype brand, you can kind of have both plays where you have to have some
entry level.
Yeah, you have to have some entry-level product and then some exclusive access.
I think that's kind of what he's doing. So I'm looking at the TikTok more, and forgive me for not like looking into your brand a little more, but they are kind of trying to like, they're just so all over the place. Like they have a lot of stuff that's appealing to kids, where they'll do like a sliding mitt trade with a bunch of different kids, right? But then they'll also like do a rocket pop collection. And then out of nowhere, they have a Corona collab. Which is a beer.
Corona collab right now.
Yeah, and it's like, you kind of need to, I think, choose a direction. Generally speaking, I think it's easier to be cool and have the youth get behind your coolness rather than like childish and playful and go the opposite way. And I don't even know what's going on with these Gen Z Zoomers anymore, bro. But, you know, plain and simple, like, I think there's something to be said here for like really outrageous, super premium, like ridiculous sporting goods, pickleball rackets. I mean, like golf club head covers, like gloves, baseball stuff, shit, like football, you know, knee pads. Like there's so many different sporting goods that you can actually make extremely designer and artistic and charge like a hefty premium for. Maybe not football pads because only kids play football, but like, and how is decorative collector's items or an engineer run the mischief playbook where everything's a viral stunt giveaway, kind of like engineered to capture a bunch of customer information. And then I just wonder what they should do for the entry level product, you know, like I don't know about the watermelon baseball head cover. Like I think, cause you just alienate, I think you alienate a lot of people above like 15 or maybe not. I don't know.
I actually think like the entry level product could be kind of interesting for your bigger drops. I forget what it was, but do you remember Cortez did something where like he had the streets in New York, like you had to run across New York and do all sorts of different sign all sorts of
like an Easter, like a treasure hunt challenge.
Yeah. I think there's like levels that the entry level product like would build that fan base that when Absolutely Ridiculous does an event or they do some kind of pop-up, like those would be the people flooding those kinds of scenarios because they want to go experience it. So let's
when they have Jazz Chisholm, like I don't know what his level of involvement is, the brand, but like it seems strong.
So like the Hubba Bubba one or like the bubble gum saber. Mm-hmm. So like let's imagine that they do a temporary pop-up. Mm-hmm. I guess all pop-ups are temporary, but they do a pop-up, right? That pop-up is going to be at a undisclosed baseball field in Chicago. And you have to go on a hunt to find what the address for this, you know, baseball game that is going to get played at this baseball field that's, you know, undisclosed. And, you know, everybody's going to play and they're going to play with these gloves. Like the people that are the people buying the entry level products are the ones that are going to be the first to do stuff like that. And I think they should do events like that where, you know, it's like it's a content play. Everybody's playing with the gloves. You're filming everybody playing with them. Like you're like the having like the bubble, obviously chewing the bubble gum, like high pressure moment. It's 1-1, bases loaded, top of the ninth, and like the guy doesn't choke because he puts his bubble gum away. Like he has to focus and he like takes it out of his mouth, puts it away. Like that would be cool.
No, I actually think and it's like imagine if you introduce the scarcity, right? And you're saying like first of 50 drops, but you got to go find it.
Well,
it's in your city. Good luck. Like that's going to be a sick challenge for a lot of these people because they know that there's going to be resale value to this collector's item. Like if you're doing this, you know, okay, so they did the glove, and we'll put it up on the YouTube, but like this silver glove that's on their hero SKU, the liquid metal glove, really cool, dope shot of Jazz Chisholm, like having the metal drip onto the floor. Bro, put that thing in platinum. Like make it like a statue that I could put in my Zoom background.
100%.
Any single MLB player is paying $5 for that, you know? Like you have plenty of people who have bread. You just have to trust, right? It's hard to, you know, trust that market is there. But if you could say, you know, this is going to be worth a lot of money, go get it, treasure hunt, and proceed to, you know, build that secondary market value.
I think
through scarcity, it could be really interesting.
The other thing that they have to do on the content side is they have to match their name on the Absolutely Ridiculous.
Yeah, ARIABYX is crazy.
And so what I mean by that is like this bubblegum, again, I'm stuck on this one, this bubblegum baseball glove. Do something that's like, how many pieces of gum can I catch with this glove?
Yeah, take the Mr. Beast method.
And see, is it 340? Is it 500? Whatever it is, like that's super interesting. Then I think about this this glove that's dipped in liquid metal. Mm-hmm. Do one that's like you said, kind of platinum, and one person. It's almost like like what you're saying with Mischief, where is like you just buy that box and you can't open the box, but one box has like $100,000 worth of stuff, right? Or do you remember that?
I think a lot. Yes, I do. I think a big unlock for them would be like stop with the remotely corporate brand voice. I'm looking at a lot of this content, and where I see a mismatch is between like what the brand feels like it can be, and then their like caption game is not mysterious. There's no aura. Like there's no kind of just like even attempt really to be cool. They're like, it's as if like a 45-year-old lady wrote it, which if that's the case, you know, no shade, but like, you know, so basically like they have a video of Jazz, right? It's Jazz batting glove review, and it's their batting gloves that they did with the bubble gum. And these feel like the best batting gloves in the game, in quotes. We trust Jazz. Wouldn't you? Strawberry ice cream batting gloves release Friday. Like, we trust Jazz. Wouldn't you? I just feel like going with the quote, like, approved by the best in the game.
Yeah.
That's it. Cut it. Stop talking.
Yeah.
Right?
You want hands like the best. And like,
Yeah. Jazz approved. Like, just like, kind of like, stop giving me this like ChatGPT word slop and just like cut it, you know? Like, I think, and they also kind of got mogged in this. Like, everyone's like, Bruce Bolt is the best in the game. Like, the comments are not great. So, do you want to be the best quality glove in the game? Why do you care? Yeah. You shouldn't want to be. That's actually like not even an objective, right? Like, it should be more so like how cool he feels in them, or, you know, helps him express himself, all that sort of shit. So, long segment on them. Case in point, I think the big takeaway on this brand is like you have to marry, like you have to know who you are. I don't think they know who they are. I think they want to be mass market, but they also want to be cool and like innovative and artistic. They want to be exclusive and kind of mysterious and do a drop model. The artist's name is unknown or whatever, but at the same time, like you've got like a, you know, older lady like doing your Instagram captions. Like, commit, like choose one path. I think Bruce Bolt is a brand that has exploded and is dominating the kind of like well-designed basics stuff. And so go be the cool one. Yep. You know, go be the designer one.
Agreed.
So, all right. So the last one I want to talk about is this Undo hangover gummies. So they are pre-alcohol gummies that you take, which I think this has kind of become a space recently where people are taking you know, supplements before they drink to avoid anything from Asian flush to the hangover the next day. So I think these guys have a really cool opportunity, in my opinion, to practice what we talked about on that last episode. I'm looking at it right now. They got my body is a temple. The temple is closed. They're doing memes. They're doing like, you know, kind of like typical brand activation stuff. But ultimately, like none of this is really entertaining, watchable, or building brand equity. No shade to them.
You just went in for like 5 seconds.
I'm gonna just keep it real, like
no reason.
you know. But that's why they're here. So, how do you create top of funnel in the alcohol space? Well, do not talk about the dangers of being hungover. I think we all know that. But one thing that I was kind of teasing with you is, you know, similar to like our last episode, where it's like, all right, how do you tap into like a universal like human desire? Right? How do you create a story that can have a wide surface area? Like, I think most legendary feats that people have done while they were hungover would be a pretty entertaining series. Talking about a dude who, you know, like crossed a river hungover. I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of different ways to sort of tie that in. I think generally speaking, you don't want to be anti-booze. Like, you're kind of walking a delicate line.
I think you have to almost be like Barstool.
Yeah. Which they look like their average. It looks like they have a club in Vegas, is based on the Instagram, which could be the market segment they want. But what stories would work for pre-alcohol gummies? I think it's like regret minimization around the next day being unnecessarily hard, you know?
Yeah.
So what's relatable is like having to, you know, stay in because you got something in the morning, right? Like you got work in the morning, so you're not going to drink that night. Well, you take the gummies. Or I think, but like, how do they go truly top of funnel?
So I think it's, you ever watch Crash Dummies podcast?
Yeah.
I think they like recreate Crash Dummies podcast with like the craziest, like
what's the dumbest thing you've done while you're hungover?
Or while you're drunk too. Like, give me your craziest bar story. Give me your craziest drunk story.
Right.
Give me even just like the craziest thing you did because you were hungover. Like somebody's going to say, like, I didn't show up to work for an entire week because I was hungover and I was too ashamed of it. Like,
hopefully you get something crazy juicy.
and you will, right?
Yeah.
And the only reason I know of Crash Dummies podcast is because people call in with the craziest stories,
right.
man. Like
on the clips.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like they
You never watched the pod once, have you?
No, I've never watched the pod once. But if
Right.
I see Crash Dummies podcast on, ironically, Facebook more than anything,
Damn, you are
the most boomer thing to
Yeah.
say. I watch every single one, even if it's a rerun,
For sure.
like the Jason Tatum story, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I am watching it. I think that format would crush, dude. Like you have this set that's your set for this series, and people call in and they just give you the most unhinged, ridiculous college stories because they were drunk, or the terrible decisions they made because they were hungover and they just couldn't get out of bed, or whatever whatever it may be. You're gonna get some hilarious stories. And again, going back to what we were talking about, top of funnel, it's purely an association play. Like you just want to be associated with drinking and being hungover because you sell a product that if you do drink, you want to take it before so that you don't have a hangover. And
Yeah.
people are just kind of telling their past life. Like
Yeah.
it's not you have to tell everything that you're currently doing, all the bad mistakes. It's like, I did this 8 years ago when I was,
Yeah.
X age.
Yeah, like what could you have avoided, like, because I think there's a lot of nostalgia for people probably around like rear-ending somebody. Like one time I had a crazy situation where my phone got stolen. This is a real story. My phone fell out of my pocket. So I'm scootering around downtown Denver, absolutely zooted. And my phone falls out of my pocket and I got Find My iPhone on it. And so I don't notice that I don't have my phone until like an hour and a half later. I'm getting home and without it, I'm like, oh shit, all right, let me check the laptop, look where the Find My iPhone is. That thing's on the move. It's
on the move, man.
It's on the move, bro. It's going from, street to street. And I'm not talking about going inside buildings.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this thing's on the move in alleyways.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point I had to do some like, all right, probably got picked up by someone homeless. And so the next day, right, brutally hungover, happens to the best of us. I wake up and I got to use Find My iPhone, and we go pull up and it's like a full like tent city homeless encampment. Bro, tell me why we start playing the beeping sound. I got my laptop out, hotspotting on my boys, and I start playing the beeping, and it just starts coming out from a tent. So we're like, all right, well, we sniped it, so we got to go into the encampment. We get welcomed in by the elders. I don't know the social dynamics of this place. They were crazy. But one of the people like kind of escorted us, and he just tapped bro with a stick, rolled over, phone pops out. All right. So
Did he give it to you?
yeah, he just handed it back to me. I gave him $7.
I was not expecting $7.
I mean, I just had cash on me and I handed it to him. And I didn't even hand it to him like my boy Corey did. I was so shocked. Like I had the phone in one hand and like my cash was in the other. My boy Corey just took the cash, handed it to the bro. We were out of there.
That's so funny.
It was crazy. But like, imagine
That story that you just said on a actual series and then gets clipped, and and you tell it like you would. It's different telling on a pod. If you just told it like at your house and like you're geeking and you're laughing and
probably would have been a little more aggressive.
Yeah, like you would pop. It would have worked. Dude.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good top of funnel strategy for them. Just like go straight into like what is the most relatable, shareable stuff, which is everyone's got drinking stories, and then end card like this could have been avoided with XYZ. Yeah,
100%. I enjoy doing those.
yeah, that was fun.
That's super cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Next time, sorry for everyone who didn't get to. For context, there was around like 75 submissions, so we did just kind of pick off rip. It's important to be quick on the gun with that, but if you want your brand to get reviewed on the next episode or in the future, feel free to leave it on the comments. We'll definitely be reviewing those as well. And if you leave it in the comments, I'll at least give you like a one-liner responding like with an idea for your brand. So that's a wrap for this week.
Till next time, baby.
Otherwise, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.